Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, we're talking about real estate investing in 2025. Is it good? Is it bad? But we cannot forget about dividends, passive income, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. Right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you so much for being here. And please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information. But we have to start off with good news first. Real estate, we have to talk about. Passive income, we have to talk about. But if you don't know, now you will know. Every Wednesday, if you are a Yield Max ETF dividend holder, stockholder of their ETFs, the distributions come out for Friday of this week for the most part. So I'm going to add it on the screen because this is part of wealth building and what you're going to have to look forward to in your future. You cannot let your money sit in a bank and earn 2, 3, 4% when inflation is going to be higher than that annually. So this is why I'm going to start off this live stream by adding this into the mix early, because this is the dividend part. And this is why you need to make sure you do download the software from Robinhood, Webull, or Moomoo. Get your free shares of stock. You can get them from all three for that matter. But the dividends is the most important part. As long as the stock market keeps going up and down and there's so much volatility, you will win with option income trading, but you have to pick stocks that they actually follow, and you need your stock from the ETF to stay about the same price. Oftentimes, option income trading, you find where a stock starts at $50, then at the end of the year, it's down to $30. And so what if it gave you 50%? Because you could be down if the stock price drops $20 per share and you only got about $20 per share in dividends for the year. So you break even, or it could be an L overall. We don't want L's overall. So that's why you have to study, just like you have to study the real estate game. You have to understand the landscape of why things are happening during the real estate game. So why do I say this? It's because they go hand in hand. So while I'm sitting here, you guys can see what's coming out this Friday. Payment date 5/30. Some of these are weekly, as you can see. CHPY for everybody on podcast, 38 cents. Actually, it's 38.6 cents. GPTY is 28 cents, but 28.95 cents. LFGY is 49 cents per share. So depending on how many shares you own, that's what you're going to be receiving dividends this Friday. You'll get notifications. And of course, the weeklies also include QDTY, 31 cents, RDTY, 35 cents. I won't keep going. I'll just skip. ULTY looks like 9 cents. YMAG looks like 29 cents. YMAX looks like 21 cents. The monthlies, AMDY 42 cents, CONY 73 cents. But here's the big one. EV Place mentioned CVNY a month ago, $4.56. And can you believe that the stock price is also around $45, $46, $47, which means in 1 month, you have 10% return pretty much. Can you imagine? So you have an opportunity there. And then, of course, we have something HOOY, which actually ends up being Robinhood, gives out a $3.30 dividend, which is pretty high. But Robinhood, that HOOY is like $60 a share. That's a bit much. All right. A bit much. Then, of course, we have Netflix, NFLY, Microsoft, MSFO, 54 cents, zero point 0.9 respectively, and 68 cents, and PayPal, 55 cents per share. So again, all of you who have these shares, or some of them, congratulations. You'll be getting notifications this Friday, which will be awesome. All right. If you have anything to say, make sure that you make some noise in the comments section. Also, I forgot that I was streaming elsewhere on other platforms and I did not release it yet. So that's very, very interesting. But they'll come and join in at the other platforms that I have to make sure everybody can see that. So once again, Tay Dag, I see you #1 on Instagram. Thank you for joining me, even though I had the late join in for the Instagram program. But once again, real estate investing 2025 dividends. Is it good or bad for the real estate investing? Let me hear from you no matter which platform you're on. I want to hear. Do you think it's now a good time to buy? Seriously, real estate? What do you think you should be doing out here? I want to hear. All right, I'm going to take this off screen, get back to it. I want to hear from you because, of course, I have my ideas. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think it's a good time to invest in real estate? And I don't call it investing because it's a liability when you buy a home. So I want to give you guys something to think about. In the Atlanta metro area, reportedly, there's 38,000 homes that are owned by corporations. And here's what I'm going to do, because how many homes are there in the Atlanta metropolitan area 2025? So a lot of people freak out when corporations buy liabilities. I've told you guys before, I don't have that policy. I don't get upset if corporations buy homes. I find it very fascinating that they do that. But let me see if we can get some numbers here, because nobody wants to actually say how many homes there are by Google. So let's see if I can find it a different way. No, I don't see anything here. The average price of a home is around $424,000, April 2025. There's 63,000. No. There's no number. There's no number. So again, 38,000 homes are allegedly owned by corporations. Now, the reason why I say I find it very, very fascinating is because nobody has to rent from them, right? That's the first thing. Just like if you had a place to rent, had a home, and you wanted to rent it out, that if somebody doesn't rent from you, then you have to pay all the liabilities that comes along with the home sitting there every month. So the only way they can make money is if they have you renting it from them, or they flip it where you're buying it. Now, in this market, they're not flipping, right? So they're holding on to it and people are renting from them. But that liability is always a liability, because if somebody doesn't pay their rent and they get to sit there for 3-6 months and jack up the place, like most oftentimes happens, or runs up bills, and then it gets placed a lien against your property, those type of things do occur, or can occur, not all the time. But the point I'm trying to make is it's a liability. I've always been a proponent of let them buy. Just like Open Door. just like Zillow. Remember when they were buying? And they quickly learned, oh my, if people don't pay their rent, if we have to evict them, all these costs start adding up. And then they said, well, I guess we'll stop doing it. Well, see, the corporations, they've been getting away with it because people are just renting from them or doing their rent to own program or whatever. Again, these are liabilities. They don't have flexibility, just like a person. When you don't own a home, when you own a home and have a mortgage, you don't have flexibility other than to sell. That's your only flexibility that you have, other than if the property goes up, obviously you can borrow more, but that's again a liability. So again, real estate in 2025. What are you going to have to do, ladies and gentlemen? I haven't heard from anybody yet. Let me see. I'll scour about and let me see if there's anybody else out here that wants to make any comments. I'm waiting. Do you feel bad that a corporations, Black Rocks, or anybody else out here buying up homes to rent to individuals? So let me ask you something. You have a home, and because home values went up because they bought more homes in the neighborhood, and uh, your taxes used to be $2,500, and now all of a sudden your taxes are 5,000, 4,500, 5,500 a year. You understand that means either A, they're going to have to raise your rent, or B, what happens when they say, insurance companies say, we're not going to insure your home? So, see, all these liabilities start creeping in. And when you own that many homes, the only thing that's going to happen is a bailout. It's that simple. Because they are going to get crushed, because the bond rate is not going to come down. The bond rate is what dictates the mortgage rates. So when they're at 6.9, 7%, 6.5, 7.5, that is nowhere to be unless you have passive income coming in to pay for it. Then you don't care what the interest rate is, but it's still a liability, though, which again, I want to know if you think investing in real estate is the way to go. In fact, I will mention something we talked about on the Monday live stream. You know, Spain said, we don't want to allow Airbnbs anymore. Wasn't it something like 60 some thousand? Yes. Just like normal liabilities, people now have no renters potentially from short term renting. Poof. And now all the amount of money that you owe every month is at on your back. So again, real estate investing in 2025, you better be very, very careful on what you're going to be investing in, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you win, but you're going to actually have to be a student of the game. Everything you're doing with investments, whether you're going to do crypto, whether you're going to do real estate, whether you're going to do stocks, whether you're going to start a business, you're going to have to be student of the game. There's not going to be any way that's going to save you. You're not going to be able to get lucky. That's not going to happen. So you're going to have to start putting yourself in position to win. Now, what do I mean by position to win? Well, it has to make sense for you to make any real estate investments in 2025 or 2026. I suspect what's going to happen in a few weeks is going to be a travesty. What do I mean by a few weeks? In the next 8 weeks? If the Federal Reserve, if they reduce the federal funds rate, I'm going to be shocked, quite frankly. And if they do that and people start buying and somehow home prices go up even higher, it just means there's a disaster waiting to happen. That's all that means. So once again, if you want to be in the real estate game, your objective is to find cracks. You need to find the deal of a lifetime. And with real estate, there's always deals of a lifetime because people cannot pay 7%, 7.5, 8%, 9%, 6.5% on $500,000, $600,000 homes. And you know how many people have been living. This is a ticking time bomb. You That's why you need that 775 credit that I've talked about over the last 3-4 months. So how do we get you there? Need you to win, ladies and gentlemen. And secure assets that make sense. Now, real estate makes sense when you can buy low. Well, let's go buy low right now. There is no crisis. A crisis is brewing. So, what are you going to do? You should be looking at real estate game. And some of you should be looking offshore real estate game. All right? I almost made the video today about Dominican Republic real estate game. But I found a nice show today that I just relaxed and watched. It was the F4, female F4 racing, which I didn't even know existed. In case you guys understand, F1 has become very popular. Well, they have F2 is the second tier down, F3 is the third tier down, almost like AAA baseball would be F2, double A would be F3, single A would be F4. So the winner of the championship is probably going to get a ride, and they're trying to make it where they have women in motorsports. Now, whoever thought of this is very, very smart because part of your business strategies is based on who's your target audience. Now, some would say it's vehicles, it's cars. Target audience is mostly male. Well, that's very nice, except 50+% of the population on the planet is female. So wouldn't it make more sense if you're trying to grow your sport that you would have female drivers? Uh-huh. These guys aren't billionaires for nothing. They're not dummies. All right. They're not happenstance upon billionaire status. They're not out here doing crazy stuff. They're making calculated risk. So that's why I was watching, and I thought it was very fascinating. And it appears they're going to have a woman driver in F3 coming up next year, pretty young, I believe 18, 19 years old, an early start to prove herself. And I'm sure there may be other women drivers. I haven't really checked, but I know there's not that many. So they're thinking of the rationale. We need more women. So therefore, what do? It's common sense. Same thing in any investing strategy. You have to figure out where your target audience is going to come from. It's not that hard. Real estate investing in 2025, there's going to be fallout. Foreclosures are going to be on the rise. Again, are you going to be able to take advantage of it? Are you going to be able to walk in a bank with your 775 or higher credit score and say, hey, man, I found this house over here that's going to be in foreclosure. Can I get a loan for this? Before it goes into foreclosure, the people made a deal with me that they'll just let me pay off the loan as long as I give them about $10,000 to move or $15,000 to move. What do you guys say? Now, of course, if the value is the average, I'll use the ATL has an average of $425,000 for a home, and somebody owes like 300, 350. They're probably going to say, thank you, sir. I love it. You got a 775 or higher credit score. Hell yeah. We'll do this. You qualify. You see, there's always a way, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I told you to get your credit in order. In fact, some of you may be sitting here right now, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. You still got 1 year and 7 months left. All right. A lot of things are going to happen between now and 1 year and 7 months. So all you have to do, sit idly by and just wait. Lots of bad things are going to happen. You just have to be ready whether you do have the down payment or don't have the down payment, you just have to be ready. All right? Just keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to put some things down below that I've been doing over the last, in fact, I'm going to keep doing this. There's also something that I've left out over the last few weeks, which sadly I forgot about. I'm going to have to, let me see if I have this wrong, because I don't have the right name that I want to put on here before I think about it. Because a lot of people are in need of help right now. And I can't, let me see if I can pull it up. This isn't what I want. This is not what I want. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can, oh, I can't remember the name of it. That's bad. That's bad. Okay, I'll do it this way. Go to Let's Go Help. Let's Go. You guys know who Let's Go is? The guy that helps people with government grants, that also the grants help with down payment assistance. Did you realize that, ladies and gentlemen? Did you understand that that's an opportunity for you? Let's Go helps. Matthew Lesko, the guy with government grants that always had the question marks and the capital behind him, and he would help people get grants. He has his own group of people, and I would suggest you either do the 6-month join or the 12-month. They have live streams. They actually help people get grants and loans. Don't do the $20 per month, because it's really only $50 or $60 per year. So go over to letsgohelp.com, and I can't remember the name of the, I swear I can't, I can't remember I can't remember. Hold on. I'll do it a different way. We'll figure it out. But anyhow, letsgohelp.com. Go over, and he helps you, and other people have joined the group and they help you with grants. It's that simple. Findhelp.org. I think that's it. All right. That's where you need to go if you want free grant money, and it helps you across a lot of ranges, real estate wise, healthcare wise, even transportation wise. It's all there for you. You put in your zip code, and it puts all kind of things, even housing assistance, healthcare assistance, like I was saying, financial assistance. These are grants from the federal government that's given to states. States also provide some of this. So go to findhelp.org. And if you have mental health or know somebody with mental health issues, 211, all right, .org, or 211 on your phone, quite frankly. All right. So those are the type of things, let's get to it early, that can help you. Now, the other thing, back to the real estate game. You need your credit score to be high in the next 1 year, 7 months. So what do? And you have a problem? You go see Tracy at Resolve Finance, TRACY at resolvefinance.com. Let her know you're from SSN Nation. She will help you out, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do here. We want you to win. We give you solutions. We can't have you losing out here, because terror is going to rain down. If you do not have all your debts cleared in the next 1 year, 8 months, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big time problem. And I don't want you guys in that scenario. So if you can pay off cars, you can pay off homes, all these are liabilities. If you can do any of that, that would be great. But unfortunately, you're still going to owe taxes. You're still going to have homeowners insurance. They're going to keep continuing to rise. So you're going to have to figure out how to make more money. Period. So you want to take over a business? Go to bizbuysell.com. Bizbuysell.com. And there's businesses for sale, mom and pop businesses for sale. Go check it out. All right. So now that we get to Tracy at Resolve Finance to get your credit right so you can actually buy real estate if need be on credit, because let's just face facts. We know 70% of the population doesn't have $1,000 in your bank account. We know this. All right. So you're going to have to do some creative type buying. All right. It's that simple. We also know 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck during the month. And we're talking about the United States population. We also know in a lot of states, you have to make more than 40, $50 per hour to live in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. So again, the writing is on the wall. Are you going to sit by and do nothing, or are you going to have to step up to the plate? Japan Fiend, I see you. Divine Transit, thank you so much. I see you on the Instagram channel as well. All right. If anybody wants to comment about anything I've said, please do so, because I want to hear your perspective. Because iron sharpens iron, because as discussions go, sometimes people come up with great, brilliant ideas. So let's get down to the Nove King. I see you. Thank you so much for being in the house as well on the Instagram. Okay. Dow, you guys need your credit to improve, then you need to get in touch with Smart Credit. Down below in the description box, that's where you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's where you go. That's where it's going to be. Smart Credit Monitoring Service helps you build your credit by telling you which day of the month is the best time to make your payment, because most credit, you are billed or charged interest daily. So the sooner you pay in a given month before your due date, the better. All right. So this is why I always suggest, if you use credit, you shouldn't even use your debit card. If you use credit, you should always simply do a simple scenario. Pay your bills with your credit card, and then you just log into your account and pay whatever you just charged to your card. So that way you kill two birds with one stone. You've already handled your prepayment or your monthly payment, and also you're cutting off some of the interest that you would have to pay for any balance that you have. All right. So that's one way that you can do it relatively easily, right? Plus the fact payments made with credit card is sometimes protects you from any shenanigans out here. All right. So keep that in mind as well. Now, back to the real estate at hand. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. Some of you would say, huh? Well, what does that mean? That means you have opportunities for pre-construction. That's one of the opportunities, because credit doesn't matter when you're doing pre-construction. You're putting skin in the game. You're putting your 20, 30, or 40% down before construction. So inside of America, that would be great, because, you generally, if you put 20% down or 30, that helps you out with your loan package, right? Outside of the United States, you have to worry about loan packages from outside in that country. So whether you're in Thailand, Vietnam, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, the Dominican Republic, Spain, does not matter. Greece, oftentimes you'll have to get loans from that country. So now they go by your credit score. That's right. This is why you need your credit score to be 775, because then you can make moves worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Hopefully that helps you out. We need that for you. And again, down below in the description box, there's going to be some help to get your credit right. There's going to be help to get your credit right by a different way, 1 year to 2 years. You see Tracy at resolvefinance.com. Let her know you're part of the SSN Nation. All right. And then at the end of 2 years, your credit will be on a positive roll. That's what the plan is with that. Or you can go with Smart Credit if you want to help improve your credit, know your hiring index score, know your FICO score. If you decide to buy another liability, such as a car, Then you get to know your. Let me see. We got the credit score, FICO score for automobiles, hiring index score, insurance scores. All right, and protection, identity theft protection for everybody that has the same address in your family as you. Not just you, but everybody in your household that has the same address as you is protected under that for smart credit. So use the link down below. You want to set up new trade lines? Then go see them. Somebody mentioned that they wanted trade lines the other day, and I didn't hear from them via email. So I guess they must not have needed trade line in a different fashion. Um, so with that in mind, real estate in 2025 is going to be very treacherous. Remember, real estate is a liability unless you somehow can figure out how to turn it into an asset. Turning it into an asset means to rent it out. Well, fourplex, threeplex, sevenplex, 10plex, 20plex. Again, you're going to need 20% down for the most part, or you can do creative financing. But I don't like discussing creative financing when the real estate market is in jeopardy. You have to be solid so you can weather the storm if anything happens with real estate values going down. If anything happens, such as people are getting fired, there's hardly any jobs, nobody can rent from you that you would want to rent from you, but you might have to take a renter. So you have to put yourself in a financial position by having passive income coming in. So then you can offset that. You can wait to find the best tenants if that's your plan. Short-term rental game, that game's almost over. It's saturated. There's people out here selling courses for Airbnb now, trying to tell people, hey, we'll sell courses. We'll tell you what to do. Send us money. You know it's a bad thing when people start telling you courses, courses, courses. That means the train has already left the station. It's imploding down the track. They don't want no part of it. So they would rather take low risk. Give me money for giving you information because I don't want to take the risk. Because, of course, HOAs are saying no short-term rentals. Cities are saying you need a license or no short-term rentals. Or in the case of Vegas, it's even crazier where they say, this has to happen. You have to be on call 24/7. You have to have quiet time after 10 p.m. Oh, yeah, they went to a whole nother level like it's a hotel. So all these things are adding up. And sooner or later, they start breaking. Because we weren't designed to be doing it like this, how it's being done. So let's get back to no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. Whenever there's a slowdown in America and EU and Canada, the rest of the world starts slowing down as well economically. So real estate game could start slowing down around the world. So your only protection is if you are in a high tourist location and you bought at a very low price, because you might have to cut your rental rates. I know. Where previously people were willing to pay, let's just say $200 per night. Now all of a sudden there's so many places that's available for rent that people had to start reducing their rates. They said, well, we can't get, we only rent it 5 times this month. We can't live on that. That doesn't work for us. I think we're going to have to reduce the rate. Well, then they go to 150, then they go to 125. Well, hundreds more people have to start reducing theirs because now all of a sudden people are going, well, I can get a 2-bedroom for 125. Why am I going to stay in your 1-bedroom for 125? So now there's a downward effect pressure. So again, keep in mind, if you're going to be buying real estate, it better be in a high tourist area, and you have to buy at the lowest price possible. And it's better if you are in a special environment. And a special environment, I mean, you have special amenities that nobody else has. Everybody has a pool. Everybody has a fitness center. So that's not going to cut it. So now things such as, oh, we have a basketball court. Oh, we have a restaurant and bar on site. Oh, we have a mini mart here. Oh, we have our own man-made beach. We have our beach club here. We have a sports complex here. All those things start adding up because now people say, well, I'll stay in a 2-bedroom over here for $125 per night, let's say. The person bought it for 150,000, so he's like, oh, it's on the border. But now the other person says, well, I'm charging 175 over here and we have all this stuff. Oftentimes people will say, I'll pay the extra $30 per night. It's that simple. I'll pay the extra $40 per night if I got all that going on. Because it makes no sense otherwise. Because if I want to do any of that activity, I'm going to have to go somewhere and oftentimes have to pay to do it. So all of that comes into play. So if you're going to be in the real estate game in 2025 and beyond, you might as well learn the basics. Upscale luxury is what I've always said. If you can get upscale luxury at a low price, that's the ideal situation that you want. So if you just want something that has a low price, that puts you in a category, right? So, like I said, my favorite thing was this month, earlier this month, when I went to go choose 4 nights. And because of the scenario in Punta Cana right now, where you have a lot of unfinished pre-construction projects, but you have something that's in a uh, area that's not maybe the best, but it's a pool, a fitness room, and there's nothing else. $50 a night. Then you had another place like Vista Cana where it's not finished yet. There is no sports complex, but there is a man-made beach and there is a sports club. And, there's little restaurants there and things like that. But again, it's not finished. But people there were also $50 per night. Then you go to Punta Cana, you go over to Los Corrales and El Cortecito, where there are restaurant, bars, nightclubs, grocery stores. Everything's there within a 100-yard radius, no matter where you're staying. And they too are $50 per night. So I ask you, where would you stay for $50 per night most of the time? Higher occupancy is going to be if we're all spending $50 per night and somebody says, I have the beach, I have the restaurants, I have the bars, I have the nightclubs, I have grocery stores, I have pharmacy, and I can walk there in less than 5 minutes for all those things I just mentioned. All of a sudden, people are like, well, why am I going to stay at this other place that doesn't have none of that? Or why am I going to stay at another place where I actually have to get a vehicle to go to some of that? All of a sudden, people are saying, well, I'll just stay at $50 per night where there's everything and I can walk to it. So that's what it turns into. So that's why you need high tourist numbers, because if you don't have high tourist numbers and you're going to be at the same price points, then everything does not work in your favor until it's built. So we'll move along to 3-4 years from now. Vista Cana is the place I was referring to with the man-made beaches, the beach club, the restaurants are already there. They're going to have shopping and they'll probably have some nightclub-esque type of thing on site as well. They're going to have a sports complex. They already have a 9-hole golf course or whatever it is. I really don't know, but that's what they claim. And you have a second man-made beach with the second beach club with some more restaurants. You have a school on site. Now, all of a sudden, if somebody says, I charge $50 for having a pool and nothing else, now all of a sudden somebody's going to go, well, wait a minute. Why are we going to charge $50 at Vista Cana when we have everything and then some? More than. Now people will say, well, I'll charge 75 per night for our 2 bedroom, let's just say. I'm using it. These numbers are just arbitrary. And the other people that's charging 50 is now going to be doing the same 50. But now people are like, well, look at this. We got the sports complex. We have the sports bar and deli. We have banks. We have restaurants. Everything's right here too. Except we have the man-made beaches. We have the Vista Cana Beach Club. We have all this other stuff going on, upscale luxury. People go, well, I'll pay an extra $25 per night for that. That's pretty cool. Fishing lake, but it's catch and release fishing lake, actually. But nonetheless, who wants to go out there, rod, reels, catch, release, fine. But the point I'm trying to make is all of a sudden, there's a reason for people to say, yeah, I like playing soccer. I like playing pickleball. I like the basketball courts. Yeah, I like this. Did you say they have a skateboard park? Yes, they have a skateboard park at their sports complex. Oh, hell. All of a sudden, rock climbing at the, okay, it's not all inclusive. People will say, I'll pay an extra $25 per night. We can all just stay right there and have all these activities. All of a sudden, people start realizing the value of upscale luxury. Real estate, you always want upscale luxury if you can get it. This holds true if you want to get the liability home. If you can afford to get an upscale luxury home in an upscale luxury neighborhood, that's what you should do. Values always rise. All right? It's that simple. No other way to sugarcoat this. All right, EV Place is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night Live Stream. He says his tagline this evening. Good evening. Speaking of Spain, they've just limited cash with, oh my. You need to fill up a paper and give them a reason. Check it out before any moves in Europe. EV Place. EV Place. I don't know if you're around 5-6 years ago, but I was telling people, this is why I've been saying it. You should have your duffel bag of cash. I've been saying you should not keep money in a bank. I've been saying very little about keeping money in a bank. Don't do it. This is why. This is exactly why. Exactly why I don't trust them. And again, everybody knows my story. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, U.S. Bank stole money out of my accounts literally in the 1980s and 1990s before there was social media. I used to shout from the rooftops and tell everybody, look, man, people would not believe me. This right here, this is just the beginning. This is Spain. This is Spain. This isn't the United States just yet. But I've mentioned this several times in the last 5-6 years. This is what's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, it'll be coming to America. So thank you for mentioning this because I did not know they started doing this. And as you know, the United States already has limited people. When you go to a bank and you said, hey, I need my 30 grand, they were always like, hey, what do you need your money for? And you're sitting there belligerent. Like, what do you mean? Well, it's my money. Little do you know, when you signed up to a bank account, you signed over your money to the bank. So the bank can actually hold your money legally because you signed by opening up a bank account there. So again, those are the things, ladies and gentlemen. See, once again, you were on the right track all along. But some people said, oh, this guy's he's a clown. He's clowning when he says this duffel bag of cash stuff. He's clowning. No, I wasn't clowning. I was serious. This is just a matter of time before banking industry, which has so many derivatives, they have quadrillions in derivatives. They can't pay people back in money. That's why they need you to have loans. Because then you're distracted because you have to pay your car note. You have to pay your house note. You have to pay rent to own that some of these corporations are doing. So that way they have it digitally. Your money's gone. All right? It's burnt up in the ethos. So that's why when there's a run on a bank, they cannot give you all the money. It's not there. Never will be there. It's that simple. All right. So, lesson learned, I hope. Thank you, EV Place. He says 2 months ago he's a newbie. I'm a newbie. I've joined SSN 2 months ago. Thank you so much, man, for being here once again. I'm very happy. Newbie's here. A newbie that's doing 18.5% in 2 months with his Max ETF is what he told us on Monday. That's right. And CVNY, did you see that, EV Place? They're giving out $4 per share for CVNY. Holy smokes. And see, you mentioned this 2 months ago. I think it's been 2 months since you mentioned CVNY. Actually, it was a month and a half probably. CVNY. And you gave everybody an opportunity to look at it. And impressive. $4 and some change. Impressive. In fact, let me go look at it right now. CVNY, $4.56. And the stock price is a little over 40 some dollars. Damn near 10%, ladies and gentlemen, in 1 month. That's the type of return that you like. And if they can keep it up, which I still don't understand why Carvana is getting that much action on option incomes, on the options market. I don't understand. But whatever's happening, it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. But if you missed the live streams, that's your thing. But if you were here, EV Place is the first one that mentioned it. Like I said, about a month to a month and a half ago. So everybody had their early warning systems. So you can't blame anybody if you're not here. All right, here we go. Yes, but in Spain, we're talking about amounts like a few thousand euro. I know, EV Place. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. People in America, they don't realize this is happening in America. They don't realize it. They just think it's somebody else. I believe you. I know. This is something that's already been predicted. I told people a long time ago, this is why no matter where you are, you need your duffel bag of cash. This is also why. I'll give you a story. So EV Place, since he's new, I'll give you a story. I'm 8, 9 years old. I'm in Florida, and that's where my grandparents are. And I'm coming up to their house, and my grandmother's sitting in her chair, rocking back on the cool breeze on the porch. My grandfather's there. They have another friend that came over, and they're all sitting there in the breeze with their iced tea and, talking whatever. And I roll up, and I say, "Hey, how you doing, grandson? And how you doing? How you doing?" All of a sudden, this lady comes up and says, I just got off work. I was meant to be over here a little bit earlier, something like that. And she says, "Yeah, but you know what held me up? I went down to the bank." And they all went, "What? You put money in a bank? Are you crazy?" And I'm sitting there like a little kid, like, why are they freaking out about a bank that the woman put her money in a bank? That's where they're telling everybody to put their money. Put your money in a bank, make some, interest. And all of a sudden they're freaking out. Well, see, they lived through the Great Depression when banks were closed, where money was stolen. They lived during Greenwood. They lived during bank in Tulsa and in black neighborhoods where banks stole people's money. So that's why when the woman rolled up and said, "Yeah, I put my money in the bank. That's why I was late," they all were like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" But I didn't understand it back then because I didn't know the history. I didn't know about the Great Depression and people being locked out. I didn't know that black people and minorities, they took people's money out of banks, the government. I didn't know this, but they knew this. But I learned it later. So if you don't think that can't happen, and it continues to happen. So when I'm in the 1980s and I find out Bank of America and Wells Fargo take my money and have these BS excuses, and I have no repercussions, I have nothing that I can do. Then in the 1990s, US Bank takes my money. Then I'm like, oh hell no, this is a thing. And from that point on, I advise everybody, do not keep your money in a bank. You need to keep it in a place where you can make more money, or keep that duffel bag of cash on the side. All right? I'm telling you right now. So do not be shocked by this. Do not be shocked. Here we go. A recap right now. They've limited the money. That's right. This is a thing. This is the thing. Remember, it costs money to produce cash, right? You have to print money. Remember that too. All right. And it's easy to take people's money once it's deposited than to come and raid them and find out where it is. All right. So just keep all of that in mind. All right. They don't operate differently than you would think. You're thinking, okay, they don't know where my money. No, they know where your money is. Every last cent. All right. When it's in a bank, when it's under a custodial account. So when somebody says to me that all of a sudden banks are going to be custodians of crypto, are you seriously going to put your crypto in the hands of a bank? Have you lost your mother effing mind? All of you who have crypto. Hell no. You better keep it in your own damn wallet. Do not put it in anybody's wallet. Hell, it's bad enough it's in these stupid ass places like Coinbase. Bad enough it's in Binance. Bad enough it's on some other effed up exchanges that steal people's money. Come on. Don't be foolish with that either. All right. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let me get started. Yes, we're talking about amounts like a few thousand. I know this has been a thing, man. It's just that people don't know. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's in America too. It's all over. It's not like it's all over. Yes, ex dividend for CVNY, CVNV happened today. Salsa dance, exactly, man. Exactly. Nothing but salsa dance. And once again, I want to thank you so much for doing the research and telling people about it well ahead of time, because the ex dividend date is actually, well, it was today for this week's payout, I believe. So as long as you bought today or before today over the last 30 days, you're getting payouts per share of $4.56. I'm just saying. And the stock price is no more than about 48. So you're near 10% in 1 month. I think most people would like 20% in 2 months. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? So you need to pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. That's your passive income that you're letting go slide by. And by the way, brokerage accounts are under SIPC. That's different than a bank account. All right? Brokerage accounts are usually left alone. Why? Because if they start grabbing brokerage accounts, who has money? 93% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of the wealthiest. So you know if money starts missing there, all of a sudden it's going to be a big problem. So they generally leave those alone. All right? Just letting you guys understand the landscape. You always want to be with the big boys. Brian P., Mr. Dividend, you're going to be doing the salsa dance this Friday as well and next Monday. So welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Is it real estate investing for 2025? We are making money in here, is what Mr. Dividend saying. His tagline this evening starts off with, thank you so much. Hey, Eric, check out your emails. I haven't checked out my emails for a couple of days, man. I think I missed yesterday, but no, I did check yesterday afternoon, but nothing after that. So I will have to check it out. Great story. Yep. And that's why, since you've been here, you've heard me talk about your duffel bag of cash. I literally meant duffel bag of cash. I don't mean duffel bag of cash in the bank. I mean, you need to touch your cash if you're holding cash. But I'm just saying, leaving it in a bank is at your own risk, ladies and gentlemen. All right? That's just the way it is. What if banks will offer staking for crypto? You know they are, EV Place. You know, this is what I was talking about on Monday. You know they're going to use it as collateral. You know this, right? You know this. They're going to do everything under the sun to make more money from thin air, because that's what crypto is. It's thin air. So I'm going to give $10,000 of crypto to the bank. The bank is going to say, thank you. It's thin air. The bank's going to go, okay, we're going to stake it. So you guys want to earn 3% interest on your money? Then they're going to go, hey, who will give me a loan against this $1 billion that I have here? Somebody's going to go, oh, yeah. We'll give you $255 million for 3% interest. You see how this works? That's exactly what's going to happen, EV Place. That's exactly what's going to happen. There's no way around it. All right, Joe Nay, another investor's in the house, a real estate investor, a stock market investor. He too is going to be in with the salsa dance coming on Friday. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. That's right. We love people doing well. We want a rising tide lifts all boats, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we want. If you DCA, you can easily get 20% in 2 months on YieldMax right now. EV Place. We've been talking before you arrived for Brian P. for 2+ years. Brian P. mentioned it 2.5 years ago, YieldMax ETF. That's when they only had like 2 or 3 ETFs at the time. Post-retirement travel, he also mentioned at that time. And then about 5 or 6 months later, I checked again, and then they started having 6 or 7 or 8. Then I said, now's the time to really look into this. And then when I found out they're doing option income trading, they already knew. But for the last 2 years, we've been talking about it. So you're exactly right. DCA, because today was another DCA opportunity for several people. Now, again, if you missed out on the 52-week lows that happened a month ago, okay, that's fine. But that means your dollar cost average would be higher. So if you're not taking advantage over the last few days, what's been happening when they dropped, you should be taking advantage. All right, go study real estate in 2025, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think is going to happen? What do you guys think is going to happen? Here we go. Just got on. EU has a 10,000 euros strict limit on withdrawals. And you know what else? When you wire the EU more than 10,000 to a person there, they hold it. I know. This is EU. Just so everybody understands, the EU does things first because they're the ones that's behind, because the United States has world currency. But they're first. There's usually a lag, and the lag is a long time. It's usually like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years lag. But in this sped up environment that we're in, it could easily be 2 months from now, 2 years from now, 4 years from now. All I know is you got 1 year, 7 months. You better have your duffel bag of cash ready. You better have your lead ready. You better have your ammunition ready. You better have your weapons ready, because no matter what, you might have to be fighting in a whole nother arena with your life. Never mind about possessions. Never mind about possessions. So again, you better start thinking out here, ladies and gentlemen. Real estate in 2025, it's liability. Do you want to take that risk without having the passive income to back it up? Passive income to back it up first. Otherwise, I would not suggest you do any real estate investing. Unless, again, the environment dictates. You're smart, ladies and gentlemen. You can figure it out, but do not take any high risk. Do not get hold in the bag when somebody says, we have a loan for you for 7% and we'll sell you this house for $450,000. Your payment's going to be $3,000. You only make $10,000 per month. And they go, oh, it's only 35% of your debt to income ratio. So it's fine. Then they don't care that you don't know that your taxes are going to be $5,000 per year. So add on another $450. They don't tell you that your insurance is going to be another $3,000 or $4,000. So add on another $300. You're going to be paying $4,000 a month, which means you put yourself in jeopardy because you're not going to be at a 30% or 25 or 28% debt to income ratio. You're going to be at more like 40 to 45%. And unfortunately, most people have 20 to 25% of taxes coming out of their pay. So that leaves you a little 20, 10, 15, 20% space for anything else. And don't have a car that has monthly payments. Don't come out here getting one bag of groceries for $100 that can't feed no family, nobody, nowhere. All of a sudden, that gas, $2, $3 a gallon. All of a sudden, that 20%, 15 to 20% cushion is zero. And you're part of the 80% of United States citizens living paycheck to paycheck during the month, all because you want a liability. All right. Thank you for mentioning this, Joe Nay, because I did forget about that because they're holding money 3-4 years back for the EU zone. If you sent people over like 10,000, they would hold it for like 3 weeks. It's crazy stuff going on. I didn't know they were doing 10,000 limit withdrawals. Damn. Wow. Hold on. Brian P. Hey, Eric, you missed my first message. See, this happened the other day, too. No, I saw I did miss your first message. Brian P., the welcome notice. Again, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he says, happy day, Eric. Thank you. I hope all is well with you. Thank you. Yes, it is. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. Give it a 1 piece. It's free, ladies and gentlemen. There should be no reason you're not giving that a 1 piece, and no reason why you should not be tapping the follow button, the heart button, the likes button, the thumbs up buttons, wherever you're watching from, and show some love. By the way, some of you might have noticed and received an email today about Substack. I finally said, let me put something on Substack because I don't have the Aweber email list anymore. So I added everybody from the email list into Substack. So you might have received a message from Substack saying, hey, there's something from Stop Struggling Now. That's where it came from, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you know. Figured we start expanding horizons. All right. Thank you, Brian P., for making me go back up there, man. All right. Let's see. Hold on. I missed something else. You missed that. Coney is paying 75 cents this Friday. I know, man. I know. Coney, 75 cents. I mean, can you believe that they're going to be on like something like $8 annually? And their share price isn't it like, what is it? Is it like $9 or something, I think? Hold on. Yeah, it's 106%. Yeah, so it's got to be like $9. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one hell of a deal. One hell of a deal, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. I like it. The salsa dance, once again, can't go wrong with that. I love it. Eric, bag of cash and 33-foot RV ready if world will collapse. Mad Max. That's the Mad Max syndrome right there. There you go. That's it, EV Place. That's it. That's kind of like what it is. Got to be mobile. Jonay, they say it's to stop money laundering. These guys, it's always to stop money laundering for ordinary citizens, but they got no problem with all these guys, rich people, saying, I have a meme coin. I think I'll just take some money and I'll make a meme coin and you can invest in it. And they're like, that's not money laundering. That's all right. That's okay. I'm like, hold on, man. What are we saying right now? That's okay. But now you send money to a bank and that's money laundering because it's trackable, traceable, and crypto's not. This is hilarious. I'm just like, this is so funny. Let's have a conference, ladies and gentlemen. I have a meme coin. You can invest in my meme coin no matter where you are in the world. What do you get for it? Nothing. It's because you like me. That's not money laundering. But me sending money to somebody else that has a bank account that's verified, I'm verified, That's money laundering. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Money laundering and shady deals. Look, Jonay, you know as well as I do, it doesn't take much for people to bypass the whole system. As long as you have cash, you bypass the whole system. We don't. You can do money laundering anyhow. As long as you have cash, you don't even need. My thing is, you don't even need to send it through a bank. That's my thing. I'm like, okay, fine, fine, fine. Let me call up your. Let me call up my friend, family. Hey, I'm going to give you $10,000 here in America. Your family over there is going to give this person 10 grand, okay? Okay. I mean, this is so wild to me. This is so wild trying to prevent money laundering. This is crazy. I find it hilarious when they do this money laundering thing. It's for they're just trying to restrict ordinary citizens, as far as I'm concerned. Meanwhile, the rich guys and the bad guys, they don't care about these money laundering rules. They'll just go around it. I just smashed that like button, says Joe Nate. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Joe Nate says Spain dropped their own rules ahead of other EU countries. Exactly. Exactly, Joe Nate. That's what I was telling people before you came. I said, oh, it's going to be an EU thing. It's not going to be just like Spain only. They're going to do it. America's going to be 3-4 years behind. Actually, America's kind of already restricting people from withdrawing already. So it's already been happening. It's not like they're really behind, but they haven't actually made a rule like that. That's crazy. Yes, sir, at EV Place. Exactly. Marlon Jordan, the superstar. The young gun is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. He says NVIDIA. He says, let's go. How many of you said NVIDIA when it dropped below 100? You guys remember that just a month ago. Remember when we're sitting there, it was 95. It was 90. Did you sit on the sideline? I hope you did not. Because if I remember right, I saw some blurb today that said it was at 140. Now, 95, or we'll just keep it at 100. That's 40%, ladies and gentlemen, thus far this year. I don't know what to tell you. The salsa dance for everybody that took advantage. It's on a rocket ship ride. I don't know what to tell you. It's going great. Thank you so much, Marlon Jordan. Very, very happy to see you once again. Thank you so much for your support, being in the house tonight. Okay, Jeannie Lemon 84. Genial Lim 84. I see you on the Instagram channel. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Greatly appreciated. All right. EV Place. That's right. He's looking. He's saying, what the hell's going on? That's it. Oh, man. Jonay. He says, geoeconomic power is shifting. Exactly. You're damn right, man. I know. And it's by default. That's the problem. It's by default. This is I'm scared. I'm scared. You know why I'm scared? It's because it's very, very simple. It's like, here's a perfect time for the rest of the world to say, you know what? We need a new world currency. And by the way, China actually mirrors United States. Can you imagine if China had world currency? Oh, and they start doing things like sanctions against America. Oh, that would be ugly. Oh, that would be sick. Talk about how the worm would turn. Oh, wow. That would be crazy. Jonay, Coney is dropping like every week, and I'm buying. Exactly, Jonay. Dollar cost average down. I know, man. I know. It's almost like no, you have no choice. I hear you. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Dividends. That's what this was also about. Not only is it real estate, it's dividends out here for the taking. And what I like about it is if you have enough shares, like what's coming up this week, you have enough shares, you're going to be automatically buying by reinvesting the money. You're going to be buying more shares. That's what I like about it. It's a systematic curve that starts like this. The more shares you own, the more dividends. The more dividends, the more shares you own. And it goes like this. Yes, put yourself in the right spot. $8.16. What? No, I think that's below my dollar cost average. What the hell? Hold on a second. Let me go look. Can't be. This can't be. I got to go look this up. This can't be. This cannot be happening right now. Don't tell me this. Oh no, this can't be right. Hold on a second. Just a minute. Oh my God. It is $8.17. Wow. Wow. Oh, nope. Hasn't gotten down to my dollar cost average yet. I was almost getting ready to say, oh, I got to go buy some stuff. But nope. I still am lower than that, ladies and gentlemen, which is awesome. So, yeah, this is beautiful. They're getting down to almost a 52-week low again, because this looks like it might be a 799. If it goes under 8, that would be beautiful. That'd be time to pick up some more. But you know what's even better? Dividends are coming out this Friday. And to be in that price range and being able to rebuy some dividends at that price range is awesome. Using dividend money, free money to buy at a lower price. Well, I'm still, well, for me, it's a little, I'm only like 20 cents less, which is awesome. But it's getting down there. This is beautiful. I love it. I love to see this. This is great. Winning is what I call it, Brian P. I call it winning. CONY. Yeah, I just looked it up after hours. It says 817, 816. It said 817, but either way. Let's see here. My average in Coney is 7.4, so over 10% this month. That's right. Got the cool shades on. Mine's also in the sevens, but it's up. It's only a little lower than that, like 7.8, I think. 7.9, I'm sorry. 7.96. So that's why 816, I like that price. And I love it. And if it goes under 8, then I have to consider, well, actually, even if it gets around 8, I have to consider picking up some more. My God, this is crazy. No sanctions are necessary from China. They can just ban export to the USA. Exactly. That would be a sanction. That's correct. You're exactly right, man. They can do that right now, which is what they've already done. They just said no ships are leaving. No exports are leaving to go to the United States. That's what they've already done. So that's why the shelves are going to be empty here in about a month, if they haven't already started now. I don't go shopping that much, so they might have already started. That's going to be bad. Japan's debt is equal to their GDP, and they own most of our debt. I'm confused. Um, China's been dumping our debt. Other countries have been dumping the USA bonds. I didn't know Japan owns that much of our debt, but Japan, um, they've started to come back. I don't know what their GDP and all that is. We'll have to talk about that. Hold on. Let me go look this up. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I'm looking it up right now. Japan's debt to their GDP. It can't be 100%, right? United States is 100%, over 100%. It's 1 trillion a year, and we can't pay it, which is wild. What? Japan's debt to GDP ratio is very high. It was 263.9% in 2022. Um, let's go see what it is in 2025. Jesus Christ. Well, that's okay. Okay. Okay, hold on. I want to do this too. I'm going to exchange that. It's Oh, wow. 252% of GDP. All right. Two and a half. All right. So, what about USA? Watch this. This ought to be interesting. Let's see what it says. 100%. US debt to GDP is around 100%. Wow. Wow. 2035, ladies and gentlemen. They're talking it's going to be, no way, 50 trillion if this keeps up. See, this is where the problem comes. Those geoeconomics that Joe Nay was talking about. That's where it comes from. Yeah, just went to 818. That's no surprise, Joe Nay. What's going to end up happening is, well, it's not going to do anybody any good buying right now because CONY, the ex dividend date was today before 5 or before 2 o'clock. I don't know what the cutoff is, but that stock, I expect this Coney is going to come down, I would think, because people were buying it maybe too late. But I think it's going to go under 7. I mean, under 8. And that's when I'll be picking up a few more pieces to the puzzle. EV place, yeah, Japan is 260%. Yep, exactly. I think that's what it was. USA is 100%, no better condition in reality. But again, remember, central banks all print money. That's how they're doing it. They all have bonds. So as long as people are willing to buy the country's bonds, they can print more money. And since they can print more money, that means they can go out and buy stuff. So if they can buy our bonds, they were getting 4%. How much are the bonds for Japan? Probably 1. So they were doing an arbitrage, right? In fact, you know what? Let me go look. I want to go see how much are Japanese bonds. Let's see what they are. I'd be willing to bet you they're doing arbitrage, right? Let's see. 1.52% is their 10-year. See? That's what I was talking about. So they're going to do a 10-year yield of 1.52%. They turn around all the money they receive and they come over to the United States and get a 4.45. So what's the difference? That's almost 3%. So they net 3% every year. I like it. I'll do the arbitrage. You're going to give me 3% of whatever, billions of dollars. I'll take it. And I can pay back my bonds and give my country some profit. Hell yeah. Let me get a few trillion, please, out of thin air, right? Because people bought their bonds. You're damn right. I'm doing the same thing, man. Thank you for mentioning that, Joe Nate, because that's what they're doing. Clearly, it makes sense. I mean, that's what I would do. I'd be like, give me that 3% on $1 billion. Thank you. $30 million a year to our country, and we still pay our bonds, our interest on our bonds. Hell yeah. All right, Japan is leader, Hungary second, USA third. There we go. There we go. Ex dividend is always 8 p.m. I did not know that. 8 p.m. Eastern, right? Oh, you're saying it counts towards after hours. Let's go. Here we go. Eric, the difference is that nobody is buying Japanese bonds. Oh, EV place. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. I would not say that. Investors are worried about Japan's bond market at 9 trillion with maturities of more than 10 years, of course. But they're only giving out 1.52. That's very interesting take right there. There you go. In April, foreign funds purchased a record 2.29 trillion of Japanese debt with maturities of more than 10 years. They can turn around, buy 1 trillion of United States debt. The difference is 3%. Actually, it's 3.2% at a 10-year, and make the difference. That's how crazy this is. I'm looking at it right now. So in April, foreign funds purchased a record 2.29 trillion of Japanese debt. So they're able to print 2.29 trillion plus of paper out of thin air. And they're going to only pay 1.52%. See how this works? This is why the rest of the world needs United States to always be on point. Bank of Japan owns 52% of all domestic government bonds in Japan, I hope. That's crazy. Yeah, I see on Bloomberg they go demand for Japanese bonds are waning, but in April it's 2.29 trillion that the rest of the world purchased. That's crazy right now. The 40-year bond market did sink, but who why would you do a 40-year bond? That's crazy at 2 point whatever. That's insane. All right. There you go, EV Place, just so you know. Yes, they are doing arbitrage. Exactly. Makes sense. Let's talk about it with TJ. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. I'm trying to figure out where can I purchase primary trade lines like, what's happening? Did I miss something? Like, hit me up at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. Email me at support@stopstrugglingnow.com or make a comment how I can reach you, but you can't put in your email address. So that's the easiest way. Support@stopstrugglingnow.com. Hit me up and let me know what trade lines you're looking for. If you're looking for one of the primary trade lines that's only on your credit report for 3 months, okay, we can try to help you out. But I would need to know what your credit line you're trying to find and the length, how old you need it to be. Then I can get in the ballpark for you. All right. Let's talk about it with TJ. Hopefully that helps you out, man. All right. Let's go. Okay, I was wrong, but still, that's nothing compared to USA bonds. EV Place. Everybody buys USA, man, because they're giving 4.5. And United States was considered stable. So everybody buys United States bonds. I mean, China, everybody. We owe in that. That's part of the problem. We owe trillions of. We can't pay the $1 trillion. That's the thing. We owe $1 trillion. We can't pay it. That's the thing. See, we have to give a high interest. Okay, first of all, when it comes to bonds, if your bonds are 4.4, 4.5, that is not based on uh, anything other than your economy is weak. So you have to raise the bond prices so people will invest. That means we owe more in interest. Ideally, you want bond prices to be lower. That gives you a sign of strength. So then that way you don't have to pay the high interest, but people are still willing to pay. Like in Japan's case, their record for April. But that's the whole point. United States has to charge higher bond rates, which in turn causes a higher interest rate on credit cards, on housing. Everything is affected that has to deal with the loan because of the bond rate. That's what it's based on. Because otherwise, people will start doing arbitrages. So the same thing, people would go, oh, the bond rate's 4.4. You're going to give me a loan for 1.5? Okay. Give me that $100,000 at 1.5 and I'll go buy 100,000 at 4.4. I'll just make the difference. And of course, the rich dudes say, oh, I'll take 10 million of that. So that's what would happen. That's why they can't reduce it that low. That's why you'll never do a 1.5 or anything like that. So just saying. So that's how it all goes. That's the way it goes. Um, yeah, USA bonds always number one, but it's based on because we're giving 4.4%. That's the problem. We can't pay it back. Japan government was printing and buying USA bonds. That's what I believe. That's exactly what I believe. Why would I? Well, if I had $1 trillion, I'm getting the 30 million free every year. That I, and I'm giving the people that bought our bonds their money every year. Beautiful. We're looking great. And I get to have 30 million that I get to actually pay down our debt on. I mean, this is a beautiful thing, or 20 million, whatever the case may be, because I'm pretty sure they're going to siphon off some of it. But the point I'm trying to make is they look good. Everybody looks good. United Airlines has a new check-in policy beginning June 3rd. What you need to know so you don't miss your flight. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, we talked about it, Brian P. on Monday, where they started that new 45-minute. That thing, I don't even know what that is. The 45-minute thing has always been a thing. The 45-minute thing was, I mean, Delta Airlines had that in 1990 something in Cali. I'll never forget it. The first time I went to the airport, domestic flight, and it was 45 minutes till Sacramento Airport. You can check in, you could be through security in 10 minutes at the time. And they said, I'm sorry, we're not going to check your bag. The flight leaves in 45 minutes. I'm like, is this a joke? What are you talking about right now? I got in an argument with the lady because I'm like, that's BS. There's 43 minutes to go before the plane even supposed to leave. What are you talking about, right? Oh, that's our policy, sir. Let me see the manager. This can't be your policy. Oh, yeah, we're going to have to put it on the next flight that comes to your destination. I'm like, are you serious right now? Okay, how about this? I won't check the bag. They're like, oh, you're going back home? Uh, no, I'm going on the plane. They're like, what? I said, right, when I go through, I'm going to take this through security. They're going to scan it. Then when I get out to the plane, the guy that's going to be wearing the nice green vest, he's going to take my luggage and put it underneath. She's like, if you want to try that. I was like, what do you mean if I want to try that? That's what's going to happen because that's how you take the strollers. What are you talking about right now? Give me my stuff. It's just like crazy stuff, man. Crazy. Anyhow, that's how you get around the 45-minute thing because they have to take strollers, baby carriages, stuff like that. Anyhow, they put underneath. So that's how they take your bags underneath. And oh, by the way, I shouldn't even tell people this because basically that bypasses your baggage fee if you always wanted to do it. Just saying, I don't really like doing that because carrying your luggage through and trying to put it on the thing and it's 40 pounds, putting on a conveyor belt and all that, it gets heavy, especially if you have two. So I don't recommend it, but hey, you can bypass your check bag fees and everything. Just saying. Sean Kemp pleads guilty to assault charge in 2023 shooting. What? Talking about Sean Kemp, the basketball player. Damn. Okay. Auto installment mortgage. No, none of them primary trade lines. Let's talk about it with TJ. These are just trade lines that you can put in on your credit report. That would be like, let's just say $30,000. It's 10 years old or 5 years old. Age is, you can have different ages. And you say, okay, 5 years, I need 5 years, $30,000 trade line added to my credit report. It's only going to do 2 cycles. So that means 30 days uh, 90 days. That's going to be on there. And then after that, no guarantee after that it's going to come off. I mean, remain. So it's just a temporary thing. That's the type of thing. It's not an auto trade line. It's not an installment. It's not a mortgage trade line. It's an actual trade line like a credit card trade line. So your debt to income ratio can go down. That's the idea. All right. That's the only way it works. Okay. Dealership lawyer says 37 million dispute with GM Financial, a misunderstanding. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something right now. All these guys that you have loans with start doing shenanigans. I have had Ally Bank do some shenanigans with me. They changed my numbers and they said, "Oh no, you owe us another." First it was $25. Then it was, "Oh, you owe us another 150." Then all of a sudden I get a notice going, "Oh no, it's another 1,000." I was like, "What are you talking about? There's none of this paperwork that said I owed all this money to begin with." Yeah, all kind of shenanigans go on out here. This is no surprise. I think you need real ID even for domestic flights now. You need real ID or passport. You are correct. Starting May 7th, it's already passed. You need real ID or you have to have a passport. Otherwise, you're not flying. That's why flying is down. I'm just saying. A lot of people don't have real ID because the real ID guys in Cali said, "Oh, Mr. Bird," because I got my license. They're like, "Oh, Mr. Bird." I was like, "We need your We could use your registration on your car. You need three, was it three things?" They go, "Oh yeah, and if you have a registration from 2 or 3 years ago still in your car," and I was like, "Yeah, I do." Then they said, "Oh, but we need your passport or your birth certificate," and I was like, "Damn, I don't have neither one of them with me right now. So just give me a regular ID, and a good thing I have a passport." So that's what happened. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, Joe Nay. The way the FAA is going, ain't going to be no flight soon. Air traffic controls are retiring at young ages, 25 years. Sayonara. Oh, damn. Damn. Joe Nay, that's what it's looking like, man. Trying to get us to a third world country real quick. So people can't leave. Like I told you guys 5 years ago, I told you one day it's going to happen. Your passport's not going to work. You're not leaving the country. And that's why I said back then, you need some real estate close by because you can always get on a boat. You can always get on a boat. And I'd rather go on a boat that's only going to go about 300 miles versus a boat that's going to go 1,000. All right. In the ocean to get to an island that you have property on. So therefore, you have a way that you can stay there. All right. Something to think about. Or you can get a secondary visa from someplace. That's an option as well. Or a secondary passport from another place. But you got to start looking now. All right. I got bad news because France said, "Eric, you're not here. You're not 5 years. You're not here, man." I'm like, "What? What'd you say?" They're like, "Man, you ain't been over here. So we're going to restrict you." I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Hold up a second. What are you saying right now?" I'm like, "Man, I prefer tunnels to Mexico than boat." EV plays good point. I just don't want to end up in Mexico. That's all. Walking. I don't. I don't like cartel. I don't like the atmosphere. Walking around minding your own business and somebody gets snatched up and gives you ultimatums, or they give you an ultimatum with the gun pointed at you. Those aren't good things. That's why I'm not walking through Mexico no time soon unless I had somebody already there that I felt safe with and I knew that was the bodyguards. That's the only way. I don't like Mexico really. I'll stay in Cabo. That's it. Um, that's it. I'm not even hanging in Tijuana. Forget about it. Not hanging anywhere. And even then, it's sketchy nowadays. So, no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys are out here thinking. I'm sure we have all of you guys wondering what you're going to do with real estate in 2025 or beyond, what you're going to do with dividends. Is real estate good or bad? It's going to be up to you to make that decision, and your investments are going to matter in the next 1 year and 7 months. But you're going to have to invest in something. You can't keep a whole duffel bag of cash and do nothing with some of it. Some of it has to be deployed so you can get passive income. All right, here he goes. He goes, it will like in Mexico here, so no different. No, it's not like here, man. All right, we have trafficking here. Yes, we do. We have a little kidnapping every now and then too. But what they do is something that's totally different. It's totally different. So here's the thing with Mexico that people don't understand. Not all of Mexico. But all I'm saying is the bad guys are bad guys. So we don't have too many stories of people getting kidnapped. The kid getting kidnapped in America, holding ransom. Meanwhile, they kill another member of the family saying you didn't send the ransom fast enough. Then that person that they snatched, they traffic. Sexual trafficking. That's not like a big thing here, but they're chopping off fingers, chopping off heads, shooting people, killing people, mayhem. That's another day at the park. Yeah, it even flowed into tourist areas, shooting broad daylight in the middle of the streets in some tourist locations like Puerto Vallarta and all that. So, again, I'm not even trying to traipse through Mexico. That's not even a thing. I am not walking through anywhere in Mexico. I mean, let's get it straight. I'll be fine by myself. Anybody coming with me cannot guarantee the safety. That's all I can say because you never know who's going to show up. So I'm just saying, I'm not going there. Not yet. But in 1 year, 7 months, EV places on it. That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You guys got to make decisions over the next 1 year, 7 months. And in another 3 or 4 days, it's going to be 1 year and 6 months. Time flies when you're having fun, and there's a case of emergency on the horizon. All right, let's go. I'm going to end this tonight. 1 hour, 37 minutes. I want to thank everybody for being here. And once again, real estate in 2025, you better think long, you better think hard. Dividends in 2025 and 2026, you better study, you better invest. There's no way around this. Will you have a job next week, next month? You don't know. Hopefully you will. But you don't know the future because of this situation of compressing our environment is done on purpose. Jobs are lost. New jobs are not coming that pays livable wages. A ton of field jobs are available, but they don't pay livable wages. Just saying. Good luck, Americans, because you guys are going to need it. Hardly anybody has money. 80% are living paycheck to paycheck. 70% don't have $1,000 in their bank account. Medicaid, health care, insurances, and all that is getting cut. Good luck. You better make sure your health is good. Stop all the sugar intakes. Stop all the alcohol intakes. If you're abusing anything, sugar and alcohol turns into sugar. Carbohydrates is sugar. If you get sick, nobody's coming to save you because the hospitals are off the charts. They'll be like, oh, you stayed overnight and we got an ambulance for you. Oh, that's $30,000. So you need to worry about a lot of things out here. So you're going to have to use your whatever monies you have. Make sure it's all good. All right. Thanks and stay cool. I hope your AC fixed. No, it's not, man. But you know what? Oh man, it's been like 70 degrees every day. Talk about good karma. But it's supposed to arrive tomorrow. The software, the motherboard was supposed to come like they told me like Monday or Tuesday of next week. And I was like, man, I hope it doesn't heat up one of these days. It's coming on June. I'm thinking it's going to be bad. But so far, karma must be working because it's like 70 to 75. I'm like, oh my God. And then when I looked at the thing today and it said delivery tomorrow, I was like, oh, all right. AC should be back up tomorrow. So thank you for asking. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, it has been perfectly comfortable. So it's been one awesome ride. I've been sitting here like, man, I guess I got some good karma still left. All right, Brian P. Hey, Eric, check out the email about new live link when you get time. I will, man. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated, Mr. Dividend. All right, everybody, let's wrap this up. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for being here tonight, but share the videos because you never know who else needs this information, who's not even paying attention on what's going on around here. All right, News Live with the doctors talking. Uh-oh. 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 Yeah, there's going to be a breakdown in the medical system because we have a person that's not a doctor, Secretary of Health or whatever, RFK is not a doctor, never studied doctor. This dude's recommending all kind of crazy. Measles is like crazy, and he said something else the other day. I'm just like this is getting ridiculous right now. People who are not doctors are trying to run the health organizations. This is who in their right mind would think this is a good idea? So now you have to start worrying about your health, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost like there's a depopulation in America trying to happen, if you ask me. This is just so wild right now. Make people get sick, make sure they don't have coverage, and then have some dummies telling people, oh, don't worry, it's measles. You don't need to take, you don't need vaccination of that. So then there's an epidemic, and then they tell you to do some more poisoning of your body. This is insane. This is insane, and people are doing it. But again, over 50% of the population is illiterate. How's that for scary? All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people need help, so make sure you share this video, and please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and that's why we have to have these hard conversations. Investors have no choice but to be investors. People who are not investors have no choice but to become investors because you are going to be left behind. 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck during the month. Just like I said 5 years ago, the middle class is wiped out. Now the upper middle class is going to be wiped out. That leaves just the top 15%, and they don't give a damn about you. And that's not good. So you're going to have to protect you and your family by being very, very smart over this next 1 year, 7 months, because during that time frame, you're going to have to put things in place for your survival, whatever that means. But think about it. All right. You need a home base. All right. Did you see old NBA player Sean Kemp? Yeah. Kemp going to jail. I can't believe this, man. Why? This is insane. 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 How? Why would he do something? There was some dust up I saw last year up in Seattle or Tacoma or wherever it was, but I didn't think it was that serious. Apparently, it was that serious. If he's going down for weapons charges, yikes. That's never a good thing. Wow. Sorry to hear that. And speaking of that, you never know what somebody's going through, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to be safe. You got to protect yourself. You just got to pay attention to what's happening around you in your neighborhood. Just pay attention. Try to keep safe and just keep that in mind. Because no matter what, as you're going through life out here, make sure you keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.